Hi friends, and welcome back to Rustic and Lace DIY. Today I have 12 of our past favorite patriotic DIYs. So sit back and relax and let's get to crafting. Okay, here's DIY number 1. So for this DIY, I'm going to use Waverly chalk paint in the color white and crimson. I'm also going to use this folk art home decor chalk paint in the color nautical. I'm going to use this decal I created with my Cricut, and then this metal and wood heart from Dollar Tree. This napkin I got from Walmart, and then this banner sign that came from Dollar Tree. So I started off by taking my heat gun and just setting it on that little top piece there and removing it once the glue lightened up or let up. Then I painted that banner sign with the white. The outside of the heart is red, I think, and then the middle is blue. And then while those were drying, I took my Mod Podge. Actually, I guess it was already dry. I am just going over that banner sign with the Mod Podge, and then I let it dry. Once it was dry, I took my napkin here, and I'm just going to cut. Well, actually, it was drying while I did this, but I was cutting off the red and white stripes from that napkin. And then I took my decal here and I'm just laying it onto my heart, and it says Land That I Love. I'm putting the love there to make sure I have a good spacing here. But if you don't have a Cricut, you could always use stickers or rub-on transfers. You could even use wood letters or like Scrabble tiles. You could do a lot of things if you want to recreate this. Stencils is another way. This is where I kind of measured out where I needed to cut down that napkin. And then I took the red and white stripes here, and I am just going to lay it on top of that napkin, and then I'm going to fold it so I have a crease so I know where to cut that napkin. And then after that, I'm just going to cut that piece off. But boy, was I having a heck of a time with my fan going. It kept blowing my napkin everywhere. Made it a little difficult, but I got it to work. So here I lay it down on my sign, and I'm just getting that red and white striped piece all situated, and then I cover it with my parchment paper, just the same kind of parchment paper you use in your kitchen. I'm using my mini press here to go over my napkin so it reactivates the Mod Podge so the napkin sticks to it. If you don't have one of these mini heat presses, you can use an iron as long as you don't have it on steam. And then I'm just going to trim off all the excess of the napkin that was on the bottom. And then I'm just going back over it again with my Mod Podge. This will help protect the napkin so that it doesn't rip. And then I take once it was dry, I took my little my little finger sander here, and I'm just going around and sanding off any of the extra napkin that might be on my sign here. When that was done, I took the little strip that goes on the top of this sign. I'm putting some wood glue on it and then a little hot glue on the ends, and I'm just going to lay it back onto the top. Then I decided to take my stapler and add some staples to the back of it so that it holds that little piece in place. That piece is not going anywhere. Then I took some E6000 and put it all around the middle of my heart, and then I'm just going around with my hot glue along the edge, and that way I have the immediate hold and permanent hold there. And I'm just going to lay it right there. And then I took a whole bunch of these different ribbons. I cut them down to 4 or 5 inches, and then I am just doing a messy bow. Once I had them all laid out, I am tying them with some jute twine, as you see me doing right here. And then after that, I am going to fluff it, trim off the twine, and then hot glue it in place. Then I took some of these beads. I got these off of Amazon. They are a patriotic bead, and I added a red, a white, a blue, and then it had some flag beads. So I added 2 of the flag beads and then another red, white, and blue. Then I'm just going to tie knots on the very ends of this twine, and then I am going to use my stapler again to staple those in place. And after that, I am going to, if you don't have a stapler, you could always just hot glue it. But I just took some shipping paper here and covered the back. I'm using the hot glue and the shipping paper. That way we have a nice looking back. And there it is. I really love how this came out. I love this. It's my favorite of today. But you have to let me know what you think about this one in the comment box below. Here's DIY number 2. So for this DIY, I'm using my Waverly chalk paints in the color Crimson and Snow White. Again, I'm going to use the Home Decor by Folk Art Nautical chalk paint. I'm going to use 3 of these wood stars that I got from Dollar Tree, and then this plaque that comes from Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to use some scrapbook paper these are all from Hobby Lobby. The stars and the stripes actually came from a book from Hobby Lobby. The other one was just a single page that I got from Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to paint one of the stars and the base with the white, one of the stars with the blue, and one of the stars with the red. Once they were dry, I am taking my Mod Podge and I'm putting them over the front of the stars, just like you see. And as you can see, I didn't paint the whole thing. I just wanted to make sure the edges were painted good, just in case the paper wasn't covering it completely. Before I had painted those stars, I had traced one of the stars out on one of the papers and cut it out. And so then I'm just using that cutout I'm tracing it on the other papers and then cutting them out. Then I placed them on my stars once that Mod Podge was dry, and doing the same thing with the parchment paper and my heat press. This is my favorite method for adhering napkins or paper. There's no wrinkles when you do it this way, and I just love doing it this way. It's so easy. And there it is. So then I just again went over the stars with my Mod Podge just to protect that paper so that it doesn't get ripped or anything like that. And then I set those aside to dry. And while they were drying, I took my little base here and some Rick Rack that I got from Temu, and I'm just going to use some hot glue, and I'm going to glue this all the way around. There's that little ledge there. I'm just hot gluing it along that little ledge, and that's all there is for this one. Once I get it all on there, I'm just going to cut it off, and that part is done. Then I took my little finger sander and sanded off the extra paper. Then I took my stars out to my miter saw and cut them down, the red and the blue one. Then I'm using my new drill. My husband got me this for my birthday. I was so excited. I drilled 3 holes, and the middle one isn't quite in the center. Anyways, I'm just adding some wood glue inside of those holes as well. And then I'm just going to add each star into those holes. That way they stay there and permanently stay there. And then after that, I am going to take some twine here. I'm going to make a quadruple finger bow, and I'm just wrapping my fingers like you see. I'm going really slow so that you can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to cut off a long tail. I'm going to wrap that tail around those loops that are on my finger, and then I come back up around, and then I'm going to come from the bottom and go through that loop that I just made that went around those loops on my fingers, and then I pull tight. I leave my fingers in there and pull tight. After that, I just trimmed it off and hot glued it to the bottom of the star and made 2 more, and there it is. I love how this came out. I just think it is so adorable. You have to let me know what you think about this one as well. Okay, here's DIY number 2. And by the way, I will have all that in my description box as well. So I'm going to use some of these. This came from a Dollar Tree mop, and then a gallon paint stir stick. One of these huge half beads I got from Amazon. I'm going to use my Folk Art Seashell Pink and Apple Barrel Old Navy something, sorry. I'll have it in my description box. And then my Waverly chalk paint in the color white, ink, and crimson. I'm going to use this wood piece that we had, this scrap wood my husband found on the side of the road and brought home to me. So I'm going to start off by painting it with my white. Now, if you don't have scrap wood like this, you could definitely use the craft wood that Dollar Tree has. It might be a little smaller and thinner, but you could still use that. Or their signs, their long signs. So I'm going to start off, after it was painted, I took my painter's tape here and I am just using a little strip as a spacer, and then I am putting my tape down so that I can make stripes. And once I have that big tape down, I add my little spacer there and then add another piece. And then I'm going to add tape along the bottom. I did have some little pencil marks there, so I knew where to place the tape. But I did also go around with a ruler. As you can see, it's sitting next to me, just to make sure each one of those were even and not crooked. After I had that all done, I painted the top part with my crimson and the middle with that seashell pink, and then the bottom with the real navy by Apple Barrel. After they, once I had those painted, I also had cut down that paint stir stick and painted it with that real navy as well. And then I'm just taking this stencil from Temu and I'm just stenciling in some stars. Then I took my wood glue here and I'm putting it along the back of my wood stick here, and then I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue on the edge too, and I'm just going to place that right above the pink area, which is now Uncle Sam's face. And then I took my half bead and stuck it where I want it, and then I'm just drawing out some eyes. And once I had that done, I'm taking some ink chalk paint by Waverly and a small brush, and I'm just coloring in those eyes. And after I had that all done, I had to make it a little bit wider because I felt like it wasn't as wide. I used my wood glue here to attach my half bead so that becomes his nose. And then I'm adding some hot glue around the edge, and then I'm just going to hot glue it right there in between the eyes. After that, I took the mop threads, I don't know what you want to call them, but I folded it partly in half. I was measuring how long I wanted it, and then I just started cutting all of them down to be the same size. Once I had them all trimmed up, I took my E6000, I drew a line of it under his nose, and then I'm just pressing all of those little mop strings on top of that E6000 so that it would dry or adhere to it. Then I just went and I unraveled all of those little mop pieces. They're like 4 or 5 strands all braided together. And then I took some small pieces of this and I'm making eyebrows for him because, you know, Uncle Sam has bushy eyebrows. And then after that, I took some more of that mop and I tied a little strand of it around it, in like you see me doing there. And then I'm just kind of doing the same thing I did with the beard. I'm just unraveling it all. And then I'm going to hot glue it right underneath his nose. And then I didn't like how it was showing the edges of the beard. So after I trimmed it up on the ends there, I am going to hot glue some of it along the beard part, so that way you don't see those edges. And I did that on both sides. And then I took some white chalk paint and I'm just adding some little, I don't know what you would call it. I guess they're pupils. I don't know, into his eyes. Yeah, I'm not an artist, you guys. Anyways, I took this stencil and I made 2 more little stars on his shirt. And then I took the base and I taped it off and I am going to paint it with my crimson to make stripes. Then I'm taking my wood glue once it was all dry and I took a little bit of hot glue on the ends and I'm going to attach Uncle Sam to that base, just like you see me doing right there. After that, my husband went and drilled some holes on that base for me, and I am just adding some wood glue in there and then a couple of flags from Dollar Tree, and there it is. I think he is so cute. You have to let me know what you think about him in the comment box below. Okay, here is DIY number 3. Now I'm going to use my Waverly chalk paint in the color white, crimson, and antique wax. I am also going to use my home decor chalk paint in the color nautical. I'm going to use my Chalkator chalk paste in the colors bright white, shimmer moonlight, and I was going to use the candy apple, but I ended up not using it. I am also going to use this beautiful new 4th of July transfer that just came out this year, and it is called Land of the Free. Now, I haven't checked. I don't know if it's still available. And then I'm going to use this 14-inch wood round that I get from Hobby Lobby. So I started off by marking off a 4-inch area on the middle of my wood round. And I'm going to take some painter's tape here and tape it off just like you see me doing here. And I did use my ruler to make sure they were straight. And then I took another piece and added it right above that and right below to make it thicker, and you'll see why. But I painted the middle with the white, I painted the very top with the blue, and I painted the bottom with the crimson, and then I took the tape off and used my antique wax. Then I fuzzed this. Now, if you're not familiar with Chalkator, it is a adhesive silkscreen transfer, and you always want to fuzz it the first time you use it, because if you don't, the adhesive on the back of that transfer is strong and it can pull up your your paint. So I just used a squeegee here in my chalk paste in the color Shimmer Moonlight, which is a beautiful color, and I'm just going over the words just like you see me doing here. And then once I was done, I removed it, and look how beautiful it looks. Then I went and cleaned off my transfer, and I came back and I'm fuzzing the next piece here, and I am just going to lay it down underneath America, and then I'm going to use that same Shimmer Moonlight and go over that as well. And this, I don't know if this is actually in, this color is not in the listing because it was like a special color, I think last month or the month before. Yeah, but I just think it's beautiful. I think this is one that was special. If you don't see it, it was. And then I took another part of that transfer set, and I am just going over the stars, and then I did that above the America wording as well. Then I took a whole bunch of ribbon, cut them down to 5 inches, and I'm just making an X here. I'm making a floppy bow. Now, normally I don't use different size ribbons. I always usually do the same size ribbon, but I thought I would try something different. I'm not sure. The verdict's still out on whether or not I like it this way, but I'm just taking some twine and wrapping it around it as tight as I can make it, which wasn't very tight. And then I took some pip berries I got from Dollar Tree, and I cut them down. I think I have like 3 of each color. Took a zip tie, wrapped it around, threaded it through the twine behind my bow, and then I'm just tightening it so it holds it all in place. After that, I am going to use my crocodile here to make 2 holes for the hanger. And then I decided to take some twine, and I had just recently got some Patriotic beads from Amazon, so I am just going to use those for my hanger, and I'm just kind of alternating some of the different colors that I have. And then after that, before I put the hanger on there, I took another piece of a craft stick and cut it down and added the antique wax on it, and I'm gluing it to the back because I want to staple this bow on, but that round isn't thick enough, and so I add that craft stick so that the staples don't go through. Then I had this little wood piece from Hobby Lobby that I add antique wax on and glued it into the front of my bow, and then I'm using E6000 to secure that zip tie down to the board, and then I clamped it and let it sit for a while, and there it is. I love how this came out. You'll have to let me know what you think about this one as well. So I'm going to start off by taking my painter's tape, and I'm going to measure from 3 inches from the top, and I'm going to put that tape all the way around each one of those boards. When I had them all taped off, I took my English Navy and I painted the top. Then I took my white and I painted the bottom of each one. Now I'm just taking some more painter's tape and I am marking off on, I believe this is the tallest piece. I'm marking this off because I'm going to paint a couple of red stripes down the front. So I am just making little marks and measuring to where I need to put each piece of my painter's tape. And then once I have them laid, I do the front and the back. I take my other two pieces, and those two pieces I am just going to paint the sides of each piece red and leave the front white. So then once I have that all taped off, I paint them all red with that crimson color. Then I took some of these decals I made off my Cricut and I put one star on the front of the smallest wood piece. Then I'm taking my decal that I created, it says God Bless the USA, and I am just going to burnish it onto my transfer paper, and then I'm going to add it onto the front of the smallest block there. And my G was not wanting to stay. I had to really work on this. This, I believe, is Dollar Tree vinyl. I didn't think I had any more red, and then I just found some the other day. So then I took the second decal that I created, and this is using the Paper Studio vinyl by from Hobby Lobby, and I took it off so fast I didn't realize that that one star was not coming off, so I just kind of reattached it there, got it back on my transfer tape, and then added that to the middle sized wood piece there. And then after that, I'm going to take some more of those stars and I am putting 2 on the blue area of the middle piece, and then I'm taking 3 stars and I'm going to put them on the top of the biggest piece, just like you see there. And then I still had some more stars and I put them on the side of that big piece as well, just like you see there. Then after that, I gotta do the other side. After that, I'm gonna take these little I'm sorry, I got distracted. I thought I missed something here. Okay, I'm adding some pieces of the rope. So I'm just going to hot glue to the top of each of those wood pieces. And then I just kind of unravel the top a little bit. And I do that on each piece. Now I'm going to take some wood glue and I'm going to put it on the side of that middle piece. And then I'm going to use some hot glue and then attach it to the tall one, just like you see there, side by side. And then after that, I'm going to do this on the back. I'm going to put some wood glue on the back of the small piece and then some hot glue. And then I'm just going to add that to the front of the tall one. Okay, DIY number 1. So I took 3 of the wood hanging planks and I'm putting them together using my giant craft sticks from Walmart. And of course I use wood glue and hot glue to attach all of them. Then I'm going to, I guess I'm going to show you me doing it again. One thing to note, I put the wood glue in the middle and the hot glue on the ends because I have found in the past when I just put hot glue on one side and glue on the other side that the wood glue one side would curl up when I painted it. Just a tip. Anyways, once I was done, I turned it around and I am just using my ruler here to make a square on the left hand corner. Then I'm using my painter's tape here. I'm using that one piece as a spacer, but I don't know what I was doing wrong. I kept having to use my ruler to measure it because it kept looking crooked. Anyways, I'm making stripes. So I just did that all the way down the board. And then I'm going to paint the stripes, the open areas red. I removed the tape once it was dry, added more tape over the red and painted it white. Then I'm taking this navy color. It's by Deco Art or Americana. I don't know. Deco Art. Anyways, I'm going to paint that square. And if you can't tell by now, we are making a US flag. So I'm just going to paint this. I love that color. It's such a beautiful navy deep color. And then after I have this all painted and dried, I'm going to, I'm going to move on here. Okay, I'm going to remove my tape. I'm going to dry it. And then I'm going to take this stencil. Now, I can't remember if I got this stencil from Amazon last year or if I got it from Temu. But I'm just taking my white chalk paint by Waverly and I'm just going to pounce all around the stars. And then, and then I will remove my stencil and dry it all. It's really, to make the flag is really pretty easy. It just takes a little bit of time, not a whole lot, especially it takes a little time if you can't measure like me. Anyways, once I was done with that, I took one of these wood pieces from Dollar Tree and I'm going to paint it with my navy color. Now, I saw online a sign like this at Walmart. Now, I don't know if Walmart has this sign still or if this was an old sign, but I thought it was such a great idea. I wanted to recreate it. So I printed out, now I typed out the Pledge of Allegiance. And you guys, this was a booger to weed. I don't know why I do this to myself. I do it to myself all the time, but oh my goodness, it took me all day long to weed it. It was crazy, but I am just adding this to my wood piece now. When I was pulling off the backing, this part stayed on the backing and I didn't want to try and fix it, so I just decided to add it by itself. So once I finally had it all on there, I took a sigh of relief. And then I took my wood glue and my hot glue. I'm putting it on the back of my sign here. And I'm just going to lay this in front of my flag, just on top of it, I should say. Just like that. Now, you could leave it just like that if you want. But you know me, I like rustic look and I like the kind of more old Americana look. So I'm just going to take my wax here and my paper towel. Now I should have done this before I added my sign, but I like to make things harder for myself. So I just went around and just kind of put that wax everywhere to give it that older look. Then I took some of my braided jute cord that I get from Amazon and I'm just going to outline my sign with it. I'm just going to wrap it around it. I'm just using hot glue. And then I took some of these little stars. I got these recently from Amazon. It came in a whole bunch of different sizes. And I'm just going to glue, I painted them white and then I'm going to glue one on each side of my sign. Then I decided, okay, this wood is too thin to use a stapler to hang it. And I took another piece of the jumbo craft sticks or giant craft sticks, painted it red. I didn't have the ends on it from a previous project. And then I'm just using that to thicken the back so I can staple my hanger in there. And there it is. I love how this came out. I just think it is just, what a great idea, huh? Have the Pledge of Allegiance on the flag. Okay, DIY number 1. So I have this big wood mason jar I get from Hobby Lobby. It was 40% off of that. And I'm going to remove the hanger and paint the whole thing with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White. After it was dry, I took some painter's tape here and I'm just going to tape around the top part. And then I'm going to use this little spacer tape to make striped lines. So I'm just using that little piece as my spacer in between each one so that the width of those lines are the same. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom, just making sure that it's all the same. And after I have this all taped, I'm going to put one more piece of tape on the end there. And it didn't completely cover it, but that's okay. I'm going to paint those stripes with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Crimson. Then I took these giant craft sticks from Dollar Tree, or no, Walmart, and I'm tracing kind of where I want to cut. I laid it up against my mason jar there and just kind of drew a line. And then I cut them down, and you can see I made a second one for the bottom, and then I painted both of them with my Apple Barrel Admiral Blue. Once they were dry, I'm going to take my wood glue and my hot glue, and I'm going to glue those pieces. This one's going on the bottom, and it's going to go right above those striped lines. Now, I saw on Pinterest, this was a Walmart door hanger, round door hanger, that had a design like this, and I really liked it. And I remembered I had these mason jars that I wanted to use for 4th of July. And so I thought, oh, I'm going to do something similar to what I liked on that wood round. So I am going to add these little white stars that I painted. I painted them white. They didn't come that way. I got them from Amazon. And I'm just gluing them on. I glued 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom with my Titebond glue. And then I used my Cricut to create these fireworks stencils. Now, I had some stencils from Essential Stencils that had fireworks, but they were too big. So if you don't have a Cricut, you could look on Amazon. You might find some that are smaller. Or if you're really good at drawing, you could probably just draw some. So I'm going to use my red paint and my navy paint here to go over. I'm alternating the lines, the colors on the lines, and as well as the stars. And I'm just using a small paintbrush because those areas are so small. And of course, if I would have used my stencil brush, I would have got it on the areas I didn't want it. So I just removed once I dried it, I removed my stencil vinyl. And then I also created this welcome word, and I'm going over that as well. You could use wood lettering if you have it, a wood sign from Dollar Tree if you want to recreate this. But I decided to use my Cricut since I was using them for those stencils. And then I'm just removing all of that vinyl. I kind of wish I would have put some smaller fireworks underneath the welcome sign. I think that it looks a little bare and it would have been nice. But then after that, I just took some of these beads. These are some Patriotic beads. I got these a year or two ago from Amazon. I think I have them in my Amazon store, which there's a link to that in my description box if you're interested. But I just put some tape on the end of my twine here. I'm just stringing it through each of those beads, and then I'm just gonna, put the twine back through the hanger hole, tie knots on the ends, and there it is. Now I look at that and I'm like, I should have made a bow for that. And I really should have. I don't know why I didn't, but I really love how this came out. I hope you do too. Let me know in the comment box below. DIY number 2. So I'm going to take one of these. They're like 11 by 5.5 inch wood pieces from Dollar Tree, and I'm just marking, I think it was 3 inches down from the top, and then I'm going to use my painter's tape here to cover that. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this as I did the other one. I'm just finding my marks where I want to mark them. And instead of making a whole bunch of stripes, I'm just making 3. So I think I did like 1 and 13/16 or something like that. I don't remember the measurements, but I just kind of basically divided up by 3. And then I'm just going to tape off the middle because the middle part's going to be white. The sides are going to be crimson, and the top is going to be that navy color. And I'm going to paint all of those. And then once they're painted, I'm going to take these stars from Amazon. It comes in a case of different sizes. And then the 1-inch letters also came from Amazon. I painted the stars or the letters with white and each star with each of those colors. And that wood plaque I ended up doing with my antique wax. So after they were all dry, I'm going to take my Titebond Quick and Thick multi-surface glue that I absolutely love, and I am going to just brush it onto the back of the letters. Usually I just squirt it on, but then it just seems to get all over the place. So sometimes I just like using that brush so that I'm not having glue everywhere. But once I have this all on there, I'm going to take these little stars, these after they're dry and painted, I've already painted them, as you see, and as I showed you before, I took this wired twine and from Dollar Tree, and I just glued it to the back of the star like you see. And then I'm going to take my pencil here. I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail in the back, and I'm just going to start wrapping the rest of that around my pencil. And then I'm going to slip that pencil right out, and then I'm just going to kind of straighten my my star. Oh my goodness. And then I'm going to use my hot glue to glue that long tail in the back. Now, I am just like, I'm so over taking my stuff out of storage that has been hot glued in the past, especially at the beginning of my channel. And I'm always having to fix it. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to try something different. So I'm going to take this giant craft stick that I cut down. I stapled it on because I thought maybe that will help keep them there for next year. Then I took 3 Jenga blocks that I had gone over with my antique wax, and I'm going to glue them on top of each other using my Titebond glue and hot glue. Normally you could just use the Titebond glue. I didn't want to wait 5 minutes. So I'm going to add the same glue to the side of it too, because I'm going to use this as on the back of my, I guess it's kind of like a firework, right? I'm going to glue it to the back just like that. And then I'm going to glue all those using the Titebond glue and hot glue to my plaque. Now I thought about doing something more later. I thought I should have covered it with, or went around the edges with my twine, but I didn't. Instead, I just did some antiquing. I love the antique look, the Americana look, the primitive look. So I decided to just go ahead and take a paper towel and wipe my antique wax all over it. If you don't like this look, you could always just keep it the classic colors and not do this, but this is something that I really like, and I do plan on having this in my home. And that's all I did with this. It's super easy. I love it. I love those little stars coming out of the top. I hope you do too. You'll have to let me know what you think about this in the comment box below. Okay, DIY number 1. So for this DIY, I'm going to take this 12-inch wood round from Dollar Tree and the 14-inch wood round from Hobby Lobby. And I am going to place the smaller one on top of the larger one. I'm going to use my ruler to make sure it's all even. I did measure the sides and the top and the bottom. And then once I got done measuring it, I took my pencil and I'm just going to trace it out so I know exactly where to glue it. Then I'm going to take my big mouth crocodile and I'm going to make 2 hanger holes. And I was so proud of myself for thinking about doing this before I glued everything together, because normally I would glue everything together and then I'd have a hard time punching the holes. So then after that, I took my Waverly chalk paint, yes, and the color plaster. I painted the front of the small one, the sides and the back of the larger wood round. And then once they were all dry and completed, I took my Waverly chalk paint and the color crimson, and then I took Deco Art. I'm trying to look to see what the color is. It's called Deep Midnight Blue acrylic paint, and I am just making some stripes, kind of thick stripes around on the edge like you see, and I'm just kind of using my paintbrush to kind of eye the distance between each one. Then once they were dry, I took my gold metallic paint here. This is, I believe, Deco Art as well. I got this from Hobby Lobby a few years ago, and I'm just going over the edge of each one of those colors with my gold. And then once I had that all done, I am going to take these little teeny tiny stars. I got these from Amazon. It came in a little thing with all kinds of different sizes. I don't even think I painted these, if I remember right. I'm just gluing them because the color of them, the natural wood, is so close to that plaster color. I didn't think they needed to be painted, so I glued them all on with my hot glue. Then I had this stencil that I just recently got from Amazon, and I'm taking that midnight blue again, and I am pouncing it all around just the wording. So as you can see, all the painter's tape there was covering all the rest of the pictures so that I didn't get the blue on it. So then I removed my stencil. I went and washed it off thoroughly, put it back on, and then use my painter's tape over everywhere where I did not want to get any of the red paint. I'm using my crimson here, pouncing it all on the areas that I wanted it. Then I washed that off and added it again. And then I added the gold paint for the stars. Maybe I didn't wash it off. I think I'd kept it on there, removed the tape from where the stars were, and just painted in the gold instead of pouncing because I didn't want to get it into that red. And then I removed my my little, what is that? Oh my goodness, it's late. It's been a crazy day. It's hectic. What is it? Stencil. Oh my goodness. I'm going to remove all the tape and remove the stencil. And then I did go and wash that stencil off. I don't know why I thought you needed to see me doing all of this, but yeah. Oh my goodness. And then I took my wood glue and I'm just going to go all the way around the middle of my larger wood round. And then on the edge of my wood glue, I'm going around with hot glue. Again, the hot glue is for immediate hold, the wood glue is for permanent hold. And then I'm going to add the smaller wood round to the front. Then I am taking a couple of bigger stars that came in that same pack from Amazon. I painted 2 of them red, 2 of them blue, and I'm just going to hot glue them around the smaller wood round, mainly to cover those hanger holes. Then I took some of this ribbon from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to make a bow doing the awareness ribbon, scrunching it up in the middle, tying some jute twine to hold it in place, and then trim off the excess. And then I'm going to dovetail the ends by folding it in half and cutting at an angle. After that, I am going to hot glue it right to the top of that smaller wood round. And then I took my stapler and stapled it inside the bow area. That way it just kind of gives it that extra security. Then I just added a hanger by just putting some twine through my holes, tying knots on the back. And I did touch up the paint on the back of that. When I saw that red, I was like, oh man. So I did touch it up, but there it is. I think it's really pretty fun. I think it's cute. You'll have to let me know what you think about this one in the comment box below. Okay, I'm going to take this wood shelf from Dollar Tree. I'm going to paint it with Waverly chalk paint in the color plaster, and then wait till you hear what happened. Oh no. Oh no, I put it on the wrong side. Oh no. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh no. In the words of Kathy Jo. Oh, can't believe I did that. Okay. I hope it's just that one area that's got the taper stuck to it. This is why it's a good idea to mark which is the correct side. And I'm going to do that now. Oh, good. Just that one area. Oh, no. Okay, where's my pen? Okay. Oh. Let's see, will this work? Oh, I did it on this one too. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. So once I got them all on there, I am going to take my chalk paste in the color cherry and moonlight shimmer moonlight. Is that what it said? I'm going to put them on my Chalk Couture transfer. Now, if you're not familiar with Chalk Couture, it is a self-adhesive silk screen transfer, aka stencil, and I am going over the America part with the the blue and then the bottom part with the red. And I am a designer with the company, and so if you are ever interested in trying it out, I do have links in my description box for it. You can check out my page or you can email me with questions. So once I was done, I went and washed off my transfers, and then I got these wood dowels that I got from Walmart. I took out 5. I'm cutting 2 of them down. I cut off about 2 inches, a little over 2 inches. Then I'm going to paint a star and a heart with my crimson, a star and a heart with that moonlight blue color, and then a star, those dowels, and a 12-inch wood plank from Dollar Tree with the plaster. Once it was all dry, I took my wood glue here. I'm going along the back of that wood piece, and then I'm going to use my hot glue to go around that again for the immediate hold. Now when I did this, as I was gluing it onto the back of my sign, I went, oh shoot, I shouldn't have done this yet because I want to drill holes in it. Oh yeah. Anyway, so I took wood glue here. I'm going down the middle of my star, and I'm going to add my little dowel to the back, just like you see. Then, because I didn't want to wait and I had company coming and I needed to get this done, I wiped off any excess of that wood glue, and then I'm going to take my hot glue and I'm going to run a bead of hot glue along each side of the dowel just to hold it there in place while that hot glue was curing. And I did that on each one of my pieces here. I just went down the middle with the wood glue, add my dowel piece, wipe off any excess, and then go over each side with my hot glue. And it stuck really well. It worked well. So once I have that all done, I'm going to try to make my holes. Now, if you want to recreate this and if you have a drill and you're going to do holes, do this before you glue it on, because my drill was kept hitting the back of the sign and was making it kind of hard, and I couldn't really get it as deep as I wanted because of that. So I'm drilling my holes. If you don't have a drill, you could just glue them on. You could even glue it to the back of the sign. And I'm going to fill each one of my holes with a little bit of wood glue, and then I'm going to push each dowel down in it. So that way the wood glue does help keep it, holding it in place. And then after I had that, all of those in there, I was struggling with that one. Then I turned it around and I took some of this ribbon again from Hobby Lobby. And again, I should have done this before I added that wood piece to the back, because then I would have had a flat surface to glue it to. I wasn't thinking ahead. Like I said, I had company coming and I was trying to get this done. It's been a whirlwind of a time for the last week and a half, and we have another week and a half left of our grandsons being here. I'm having a fun time, but I am not old. I am too old for this now. But anyways, once I had those ribbons glued on each side, I took some of this twine and I'm just tying some little bows around each one. I'm coordinating the color of the twine with the color of the heart or star. And so I use the red, the blue, and then I have the cream, tan, and white color. And that's all there was for this. I absolutely love how this came out. I just love it. I hope you do too. You have to let me know in the comment box below. Okay, DIY number 3. But anyways, I took this 12 by 12 wood piece that I got from Woodpecker's Craft, and then I printed out with my Cricut, or cut out with my Cricut, kite shape, and then I traced it out, cut it out with my miter saw, and then I am going to use my painter's tape to go along the top part there. I'm going to paint the top with that midnight blue and then the bottom with my plaster color. And then I'm going to take my stencil once they're dry. I'm taking my star stencil. Now, I think I got this from Temu last year, but I might have ordered it from Amazon. I know you can get them on Amazon, but anyways, I'm going to go over this stencil with my plaster paint until the whole top part is filled with little stars. And then once that was done, I washed off my little stencil there and dried my stars, and then I'm going to use that little small piece of painter's tape as a spacer, and I'm going to use the painter's tape to create some lines. So I'll just use that little piece to go in between each piece of tape, so that way I can have an even set of lines. So once I have all of them done, I just go all the way across the bottom, and once it was all done, then I'm going to take my Waverly chalk paint in the color Crimson, and I'm going to paint each area with that red color. And then I'm going to remove all my painter's tape and do it very carefully, trying not to get red paint all over my fingers, because I've done that before where I get red paint or paint on my fingers and then I get it on my surface that I'm using. But once I had it all dry, I took my Waverly antique wax. I just wanted to antique it, so I have a baby wipe, I believe, and I'm just wiping it lightly. I did start seeing that some of the red was kind of bleeding when I did this, and I just thought, yeah, it's okay, because it gives it more of that old antique-ish primitive look. So then I took some of the stars from that set of stars that I got and some hearts that I have on hand. I'm painting the stars with my metallic gold, and then I'm going to paint, I guess I'm going to continue painting my stars. They're not done yet. And then I'm going to paint my hearts with my crimson color and then let them all dry. And once they were dry, I don't remember what I did, so I have to wait. There we go. I took the dog leash. I'm like, what am I going to do with this dog leash? I'm like, okay. So I took it, I trimmed it. Now this stuff sheds really easily on the ends. So I'm just going to cover the ends with some hot glue, just so that it doesn't fray very easily. And then I'm going to use my hot glue to glue this all along the border there. And I did this off camera, but I did take some antique wax and go over the white part of this leash, because I didn't want it to pop out as much. So I did kind of color it in with some antique wax. And then I'm going to glue my stars and hearts in place, just like you see me doing there. Then I took the hula skirt and I took a piece off of it, and I'm going to glue it to the front, and I'm going to tie the twine around the back. I don't know why I did that way. I guess I was thinking be better, just more protection than glue, since it's just hot glue that we're using here. But yeah, I don't know. You could, if you recreate this, you could probably just cut off the twine and just glue it. So, but I would recommend using a more permanent glue, not hot glue, so it doesn't melt if you have it hanging on your front door. But I'm going to add a little dab of hot glue on the back as well, and then I'm going to add some hot glue for my bow. And then after that, I'm going to add a hanger, but I'm not going to add it at the top. I'm adding it to the side. I wanted it to hang kind of sideways. So I'm just going to staple it in, because that wood is thick enough for the staples. And that's all there is for this one, I believe. Is this all there is? Is there something else? No, there is something else. Oh my goodness. I had this sign. This came from Hobby Lobby. It comes in a little package with like 3 different words or 4 different words. I don't know, 6 different words, I think. Whatever. It's late, you guys. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm just going to use my Tight Bond Quick and Thick Multi-Purpose Glue and hot glue. And I'm going to glue that to the front of my sign. It just says America. And there it is. I love this. I think it is so stinking adorable. Oh my goodness. You have to let me know what you think about this one as well in the comment box below. Okay, DIY number 1. So I'm going to take 2 of these pizza pans from Dollar Tree. I'm going to do a little sanding over all of them, front and back, sides, trims, rims, whatever, the whole thing. And then I wipe it off really well with a baby wipe and dry it. And once I had it all done, I took one of them and I'm going to bend it. Now, when you bend it, you don't want to go halfway. You want to do more about a quarter of the way, a third of the way down, something like that. Then I took the one that's not bent and I painted the back of it with my crimson color by Waverly. And then I am taking my white chalk paint here by Waverly and I am painting the front of it just about the same length as the bent one. Hopefully that makes sense. So it's just going to be probably the top third of my pan that I painted. Then I took the bent one and I painted it, just this side of it, with my Waverly chalk paint in the color white. After it was all dry, I took my painter's tape here and I'm just going to lay it down. I'm using that little piece there as a spacer so that my lines are even. And then once I have all the lines or all the tape placed on there, I'm going to paint it with my Waverly chalk paint in the color crimson. And there you go. So I'm painting of course, the stuff that doesn't have tape on it with my crimson color. And then I will let it dry. I did have a little bit of bleed through on a few spots, but you just take a little brush with some of your background paint and just kind of touch it up and it looks great. So just finishing up here, and then I'm going to remove all of those painter's tape. I did remove it while it was wet, and then I dried it. And then once it was dry, I took this Decor Art Americano, it's navy blue paint, and I'm going to paint the bent side that I had painted white. I'm going to paint that with that navy color. Now, the reason why I painted it white first is because this is acrylic paint, and I think it shows better when you paint over some white. Then I wanted to make some stars. Now, I had this stencil. I got this, I think, from Temu. And because it doesn't lay flat because of that lip, I decided to go ahead and take my white paint marker from Dollar Tree. And I'm just tracing out those stars all around the bent area of my pizza pan. Then I took a small paintbrush and my white paint and went over it. Now you could leave it with just the marker if you wanted, but it wasn't very bright. So I wanted it to be a little bit brighter. So that's why I went over it with my paintbrush. Then I took some Fix-All glue and I'm going to just go all the way around the rim that is not painted here of the full pizza pan. And I was running low on that one. I had to switch it out for a new one here. Once I was done, I'm going to take my other pizza pan and I'm going to add it just like that. Look how cute that is. Now, I wish I could say this is my original idea. It's not. I did see this on Pinterest like last year and I loved it and I wanted to make it. So I decided I was going to make it this year. So I just clamped it down with some of my clamps there from Dollar Tree and waited overnight. And then I'm taking my big mouth crocodile and making a couple holes for a hanger. And then I took some twine and I got these beads last year from Amazon. I do believe they're in my Amazon store, but they are so cute. And I just thought they'd be so much fun as a hanger on this. So I'm just stringing them through to make my hanger. And then of course I'll string my twine through the holes and tie knots on the back. And then I'm just going to fill up my planter here. And I'm just going to use some boxwood greenery. I love this stuff. This comes from Walmart. It's my favorite greenery. And I'm just going to fill it up. I used like 1.5 picks. I don't even think that one was completely full either. So maybe it might have been more like 1 pick. And then I had these flowers. Now I got these when I started my channel, the summer after I started my channel, from Dollar Tree. I don't know if they still have them or not, but I haven't been using them. I thought, okay, this would be a perfect time to use these. So I'm just going to fill them up with those flowers and then some of the long glittery things. I don't even know what you would call those. I'm going to call them planter fillers. And I'm just going to fill that in with amongst the greenery, and that's all there was. Look how cute that is. I love it. You could hang it in the house. You could hang it on a door. I think it would be a great door hanger. I just love it. Yeah, well, let me know what you think about this in the comment box below.